And that's an amazing way to live. But you can only, you don't need the narratives anymore only when you live in connectedness with the deeper level of your being, only when you know that you are, and the sense of already being complete on that level, not needing anything on that level, already being fully yourself on that level. You're not perhaps fully yourself on the level of form. You can still achieve things. You can still learn new things, master new things, try out new things. Why not? There you are not complete. But on the level of the depth level of being, that you are at the deepest level, you are already fully yourself in the timeless present moment of being. You only need to sense that in yourself. Then you can operate on the two levels, and then you don't need these narratives, spin these narratives anymore in order to continuously enhance your mind-made sense of self. And then you can be with situations, allow them to be as they are without imposing any unnecessary story on it. So people behave the way they behave. People don't always do what they're supposed to do. They just act according to their level of consciousness, and you just accept that. They act, or whatever they do, that's what they do. The situations are as they are already. So you no longer, because many narratives have this element of deep resentment to them too. You might notice that when the mind constructs narrative, as they do in the collective too, these people don't believe what we believe, and therefore they are actually bad, evil people. How can they not believe the truth? They believe that this event happened 100 years, and in the year so-and-so, but in Christianity it happened too in the past more than now. When was Jesus born? I'm telling you it was then. No. What, you don't believe he was not born on the 24th of December? That's totally wrong. And people killed each other for that. So be careful of narratives, but I'm not saying don't have narratives anymore. First, get in touch with the stillness within. Then you'll notice from there that when the narratives still arise, you can smile. Or when you can, before you know it, you might have been talking to somebody about your story, and then you notice it and you can smile, and then you realize you don't really need that story anymore. And then it could be that you are not as popular anymore at dinner parties because you don't have these interesting narratives about what happened or they people did. Well, do you know what he did? You'll never believe it. That's what he did. Oh, God. Wow. I thought he was I knew he was like that. I had my suspicions. So there are many Zen stories like that, where the essence of Zen is, of course, to live without a narrative, in that simplicity of awareness. And then the simplicity is the famous saying that you probably know from Zen: chopping wood, carrying water, is a Zen saying, which is what you do in the Zen monastery every day. You chop the wood for the fire, and you carry water for washing or cleaning, and every day you chop wood. And so there's a Zen saying, chopping wood, carrying water, which means you go about your life without adding anything to it. There's not the story of, I can't stand this anymore. I've been chopping wood now for 3 years. Why doesn't somebody else do it? Or we should employ somebody. We must get. And this carrying water, it's getting too much for me. Why should I have to do that? I'd rather be somewhere else. I'd rather be playing golf than carrying water. These are all stories that go through people's minds that stop them from giving their fullest attention to whatever they're doing at the present moment. Doing with resentment, you do what you do it, but there's resentment behind the doing. You're doing it, but you don't really want to be doing it because I shouldn't be doing that, or whatever the narrative is why you shouldn't be doing that, or don't want to be, would rather be doing something else. Famous bumper stickers on cars. I'd rather be fishing. I'd rather be golfing. I'd rather be in Hawaii. Or as Ram Dass's bumper sticker that I saw on his car, I'd rather be here now. So that's a good one. I'd rather be here now. So then you are then always fully in whatever activity you're doing. It's not being obstructed by some kind of story in your mind. Then you can give your fullest attention to whatever you're doing without interference of some entity up here that doesn't really want to be doing it for some reason. And so many people have continuously some stuff going on there that is in conflict with whatever is happening or with whatever they are doing in the present, not perhaps permanent conflict, but a lot of conflict with whatever they are doing. That prevents a high quality of activity because one can look at activity in terms of quality. Quality in doing something is intrinsically connected with the degree of presence or consciousness that flows into the doing. So when you buy something that is of quality, whether it's a work of art or somebody has made it, then that sense of quality derives from the consciousness of the maker of that thing, whatever it may be, because it shows there is attention in it. There is complete attention to the present moment. It wasn't somebody said, oh, we must finish that as soon as possible so that we can make as many things as we can today. Let's make it as quickly as possible. So every doing is a means to an end, to the next moment. Let's make this. And you're already looking to the next one while you're making this. So in other words, you'd rather be there than here. That's low quality doing. You're not present in the doing. And because there's mental interference that creates the thought of the next moment where you would rather be, because the next moment is always a thought. The next moment has no actual existence except as a thought. Isn't that interesting? There is no next moment unless you think about the next moment. I have to think about that. Now you can't. Is that true? I have to start thinking. Is there no next moment unless I think about the next? Let me think about that. I'm getting very confused. It's actually quite simple. It's so obvious. It's like saying, here's an apple. Yeah, there's an apple. That's what we call it, an apple. There it is. There is no next moment. There's only ever this moment, obviously, away from your thoughts. So if you continuously live as if the next moment were more important than this one, you cannot give your fullest attention to this one. That diminishes the quality of your doing. It decreases the your connectedness with true intelligence, where creativity comes from, inspiration comes from, which can then not flow into what you're doing, or only trickles. Little trickles might still flow, but perhaps not even that. Because you're looking to the next thing. You're not fully with this thing. And the next thing is mental stuff. It's a thought. So that's another aspect of the interference of narrative, because even the next thing is a small narrative in your head. And that tells you, I need to get there. I'd rather be there already, therefore I need to get this out of the way quickly. And then whatever you are doing here is not, you're not fully present with it, which is reflected in the quality of the doing, which has infinite repercussions, because other people are affected by it also. And so your life then continuously is experienced as unsatisfying, because you never arrive at the next thing. Because when the next thing comes, it's the next thing. You're trapped in a mind pattern that says you live for the next thing. So if you discover within yourself that a lot of the time you're in a state of lack, of insufficiency, of not enough, and you feel that the answer to, the remedy is to be active in this world and achieve and do as much as possible, then you'll probably find that ultimately that is not the answer to your state of lack. In order to transcend, to go beyond your state of lack, of neediness, of not enough, spiritual practice and spiritual realization is necessary. Focus on the realization of being. It's only there that you can go beyond that state of lack, which is ego. Go within and discover who or what you are beyond the person.